Peps, it's J-Dog. It is our round 14 AFL review, and what an episode this is going to be. It is going to be chocker, blocker, footy action. It might have only been 6 games, but so much on the field, so much off the field. I can't wait to get into this massive recap of a week of football, but also what we're leading into, which potentially could be the single greatest round of football this season outside of finals. Now, if we were a TV show, this would be Fantasy Island. I would be Mr. Rourke, a.k.a. Chris Pepper, the 377-game superstar of the East Keilor Football Club. And joining me would be my little short friend, Tatu, otherwise known as Jamie the J-Dog Wallis, the absolute superstar, the co-host with the most, our newsbreaker and Port Adelaide aficionado. Big fella, what a cracking round of footy, and isn't this week going to be awesome?
Yeah, Peps, it was a pretty good round of footy for not a lot of games, as you said, quality over quantity, and I think even last week we said the same thing.
I know, it's footy. This is what footy should be about. It should be coming in because the last few weeks, let's be honest, it's been a bit flat. We've been a bit flat with our approach and the way we've been going through games. We've had some technical issues, and
correct.
We've overcome those. And it was almost we needed a bit of a refresh. And just by having a couple of sessions off, it's brought us back. And then you have just 6 cracking games. And last week we were really newsworthy. This week it's just footy worthy, and I can't wait to get into it.
Right. Where do you want to start, Peps? You want to go on a holiday to Bali?
Hold on. I've just got to pack my mobile.
No, Peps. We've got a lot. Obviously, we've got a lot. We're going to talk about footy this week. We're going to talk about a little bit of the news, but not a whole lot, because I really can't be bothered. I can't be bothered talking about Jordan Ngoe, having one more conversation about it, because I'm just done with it.
And one thing we do here, buddy, is we pride ourselves. Look, I know we've talked about a couple of controversial issues over the last few weeks, and we get that, right? But at least this week, we're not going to mention it. It's been done to death. Let's talk about the good stuff. Like it's Footypalooza this week, J-Dog. This week is Footypalooza. Trademark lace out 2022.
Correct.
But it is the single greatest round of footy.
We've got some good news.
We've asked for. We've got plenty of great news.
AFL have made some changes.
News. Rule changes. Schedule change. I'm letting you loose with that one because I know that's something we've got. We've got the magnets. We've got the ladder. We're going to have a look at this week's games in a minute, but we're going to spend more time on that on Tipped Out. I know that's had a couple of weeks off, but we're getting back this week. How could you not? We're just going to, everything Rising Star, you name it, we are going to get into it, mate. I'm going to hand it over to you because you're a Port Adelaide man. You're a happy man. A great win on the weekend. Do you want to start with let's get you to take us. Team didn't play, so I haven't really got anything to talk about.
Sure, bring it up.
Fella,
Show.
Your team won on the weekend, and you know who we're talking about. We are talking about the absolutely stunning, the magnificent, the led from the front, Ken Hinkley Port Adelaide football team. Tell us all about it, big boy. Tell us about the ladder and, more importantly, your changes and potential jiggy jars up for the next week. Over to you, big boy.
Yeah, look, can we just be done with this conversation? I think everyone from Carlton up are the top 4. Whether you want to chuck in there, who you want to chuck in there, I don't even care. The top 4 looks pretty settled. I think Geelong are going to slide in there, but we've got Brisbane at the top, Melbourne second, Fremantle all on 40 points, all just sharing a percentage or so. We're talking about, between Brisbane and Melbourne, we're talking about 3 goals. Between Fremantle and that, we're talking probably closer to 7 or 8 goals. But it's so close. That top of the ladder is going to be the hell of a race now. From now on in, it is a downhill run. I won't call downhill slope, Peps, because I know that that'll spook some of the Melbourne supporters.
We know about downhill slopes, especially this time of the year.
Geelong Cats, Richmond, Carlton, Richmond, Sydney Swans, St Kilda. St Kilda, Sydney Swans looking shaky. Richmond look like they got their game and season back on track. We're going to talk about that tonight.
Could they pinch a top 4, Richmond?
Nah, I don't think top four. I think top four is. I think Geelong have got a lot of home games now coming into the end of the season, so they're pretty safe. Collingwood are definitely in the race for the finals, and anyone below that, I suppose Western Bulldogs can probably sneak in there, but anyone other than that, I think are probably done for the season. I mean, Gold Coast, as much as I love Gold Coast and love what they're doing and love what they're rebuilding, I think they're probably done.
I don't think they are, Jamie.
Okay. And Port Adelaide definitely done. GWS, cracking game on the weekend. They really put up a fight. Hawthorn, Adelaide Crows, another cracking result from Adelaide. Didn't get the win, but my God, they scrapped. Essendon, where's that been for the last 13 weeks?
Where's that been? Where's it been?
North and West Coast Eagles. We know they're going to be battling for the bottom there. Who's going to get it? They're basically 2 points difference in terms of actual scoring at the moment because one is on 52.3% and West Coast is on 52.2%. It is there.
It's you don't. It's almost like you don't want to win another game.
Not first two.
It's the Horn Francis Cup again.
Let's start bringing in let's start doing what Melbourne did, start shuffling some positions.
I've got a massive chub for the Gold Coast Suns at the moment. I reckon for the first time in their club's history, they'll pinch 8th.
Ooh, big call.
I just think that the amount of games that they've got against bottom teams, and we're going to have a chat about Gold Coast as well too, because they're just playing good footy, and it's usually this time of the year they've already fallen off the ship. But, mate, they are shining bright up there, and who would have thought that two blokes standing in their forward line in terms of Casbolt and Chol, who were almost struggling to get games at their respective clubs last year, are just dominating and kicked, I think, close to 50 goals between them for the Suns this year. Like, I know
good return.
Personally, who's struggling to find a forward because we've just gone backwards with everything. I'd love to have Chol down there. I'd love to have Casbolt just to take one of the big spots. But I reckon they're a massive chance for that 8th spot, and I think St Kilda are really susceptible. And I never thought I'd say this, but I think the Swans could be if they continue to play like they did against your mob on the weekend, bugger them off, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm only saying that because Western Bulldogs also are probably expecting. I mean, Western Bulldogs played an amazing game, one of the highest scores of I think the highest score of the season, if not, not the highest score. They were involved in the highest scoring game between opposition and winner of the season. But they're also expecting back people like Josh Bruce and stuff like that. So they're getting some reinforcements this time of the year. Yeah. He's about 2 weeks away.
But I think they're too far away though, mate. I think they're cooked. I really do think they're cool. Yeah, I don't. Okay. They're too far back. I think there's other clubs with better runs and who are playing better football at the moment.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
As that too. So yeah,
it's exciting. This is where it all happens.
Oh, it's great. This is 9 rounds left. Yep. That's it. We've got 9 rounds. This is where it happens. You don't win the Melbourne Cup in the first 200 metres, the first 600 metres, the first kilometre and a half. No. We're down to the last 900 metres and boy, oh boy, are we going to sprint hard for the line. I cannot wait. Hey, buddy. Yes. All righty, let's get into it. I want to have a chat about I want to spin some magnets. I want to get these bad boys going right away. First and foremost, I want to start with the bad stuff. And normally I'd have the, work on. Bloody week. But our soundboard will be up and running for next week. All right, but I just want to go through a few things. First and foremost, Will Powell for the Suns. What a shocking injury. Like, I don't like seeing players get injured, full stop. But when you see someone go down in the way he went down, he's been playing good footy in a team that's got the rise going at the moment. They were bound for finals glory. And for him to go down, it just hurts. Can you imagine if Ben King was in that team? Jack Kocius, who's been out for a bit, Lockie Weller, were all in the same. Where could the Suns be sitting right now? They're just everything that we've been hoping for them is coming together. And then in the case of 2 weeks, they've lost 2 of their better players going down over the last. And you just don't want that, which kind of sucks as well. So it's real. I just hope for him all to get better. All righty, next one. Also, one of the worst umpiring decisions ever on Friday night. It was the game against Essendon versus St Kilda.
Oh, no.
Did you see? I don't know if you saw this, J-Dog. Matt Wilfie was following his man. Did you see this one? Following his man. Now, the man ran around the back. He followed him. And then it was like the ad where his leg, he went this way and the opponent went that way.
Yeah.
And the umpire then said, 50 metres and gave basically a goal to St Kilda. Now, I know they're getting a bit tricky with what they've been doing, the players, and I get that. But come on, umpires. Can you use a bit of common sense? Can you use that thing that's between your ears called your brain and realise he was actually doing the right thing? He was following him through and there was nothing wrong with what they need to do. So it was just frustrating as buggery to see that happen. And once again, and then we hear, it could cost someone a game. It could cost someone a final. It could cost them a preliminary. It could cost them a grand final. It ain't going to cost them a prelim or a grand final because the umpires are the best umpires and they're going to use their minds and their common sense when it gets to the end of the year. So it was just a stupid decision. Just when you think that we take one step forward, we take a couple steps
That rule should be gone by next year, yeah?
No, I think they'll keep it. But it doesn't make any sense.
It's a shocker. Because Guelphy had absolutely no impact on the play. He actually ran behind the mark.
But they've even got players running out of the zone now and they're penalising them.
Yeah.
Like, come on, umpires, use your freaking brains a little bit. But, it's round 14, we're saying the same thing. But I don't blame the umpires either. I'm blaming the AFL for generating these rules and signing off on these rules, and they're just interpreting what they've been brought in. So it's a stupid thing.
The gift that keeps giving.
He's just like herpes. Rightio. I got another one from your game.
Oh, okay.
From your game. First and foremost, I'm dragging your mob because of what they did to Sydney.
Okay.
Where's that been all year?
What do you mean?
All right.
What do you mean?
But I got another one. Here we go, right? Oh, it was just awesome. But Peter Laddams. Now, you left Port Adelaide to go to Sydney.
We've traded, yes.
You left Port Adelaide to go to Sydney. Traded, whatever. He left. And he finally gets the number one rucking gig because good old Tom Lovebite Hickey is injured.
Mm-hmm.
And what does he go and do? Goes and gives his old mate, Ollie Wines, a unnecessary love tap to the Michael Tuts. Boom chakalaka, 1 week off. Stupidity at its finest.
Gave away 2 goals.
Pardon?
Gave away 2 goals as well.
He gave away 2, but what an absolute knob jockey. Seriously, champ, you had a chance to lock in a spot, make a massive difference to your team, and you go and do that shit. It blows my mind how dumb footballers can be. It just ruins it.
Nothing surprises me with footballers, Peps.
Nah, especially ruckman. We know they're all dopey. They are. You know it. All right. Outside of that, there wasn't really anything else. Oh, the other one I'm going to not bag, but I'm going to talk about him in a moment in terms of the good stuff. Where 3 votes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also going to mention, I don't know if you heard about it, but the Collingwood playing group, that Do Better report?
Yeah.
Maybe they need to have some reading lessons. Maybe sit down. Maybe they could use crayons or something because obviously they don't get it. AFL players on breaks and mobile phones, none of it mixes. None of it is right. Always coming out of that mob. Couldn't be any worse. All right, let's talk about some 3 votes. I've got some great stuff. First and foremost, what about the Dogs and GWS? That first quarter of football, was that just – did that put a smile on your face? Just seeing just footy played, fast footy.
Well, how do you feel, Peps? Because you always say that Cody Waitman's a bit overrated. Just bangs home 5 first half goals.
J-Dog, I'm going to get back into it in a moment. I didn't say he was overrated.
Yeah, you did.
Listeners, if I said he was overrated.
You said he was flaky.
Tell me.
Goes missing.
Yeah, he has. He does.
Okay.
But Jamie, I will give credit where credit is due. And first and foremost, Toby, my boy, my adopted son from a brother from another mother. A bag of 7, J-Dog. How good. He is. Just rename it to the Toby Green Football Club because he is GWS. He is their barometer. He is actually their Reith Matheson, but with skill.
Well, they always say no May, no Melbourne.
I loved him. Pardon?
No May, no Melbourne. No Green, no GWS.
Grass. Yeah, exactly. No Ken, no Port. But I'm also going to throw Cody Waitman in there for his not just his first five for first half goals. That was the first thing, right? More impressive than that, he dislocated his elbow. I don't know if you saw the footage of it, but jeez, it was almost as ugly as one of your early training sessions when I first started working with you, J-Dog.
Have you dislocated a bone before, Peps?
No, partially, but not a full one. No, I haven't.
Just a little bit out.
No, I broke. I didn't do things by halves. I just broke them. But the fact that he came back on, that is why I say, mate, that's gutsy.
Yeah,
that's where you get the pat on the back, not the flaky dives and the touch in the backs and look at with my flaky blondie hair. That's the sort of stuff that's going to give you a reputation as a player people want on your team. All right?
I liked it.
So
Great
do
game.
more of that and less of the flaky stuff. That gets you in my good books, buddy. So Katie Waitman, thumbs up for you. Essendon Football Club. Now, I'm not going to go too much on about it because it's only been 1 week. But you did it 1 week late. Couldn't you have done it a week earlier against Essendon?
Against
in your
who?
150th game?
Against Carlton.
Against Carlton. Sorry,
Yes.
J-Dog. But it was just awesome to see what they rolled out with on Friday night. I just loved it. I just loved every minute about it. I was sitting down, me and the old man, Big Trevor Pepper, absolute superstar. We were sitting down, having a couple Jimmy cans. He was having a lime seltzer with a bit of vodka in it. And we were watching it and we we're going, where's this? There was pressure. There was speed. There was defensive sureness. There were risk takers. Like Nick Hind made so many mistakes, but every time he got the ball, you knew that he was just going to burn off. You know, Sard would take 2 steps and have 3 bounces. Like it was just attacking football. And it was
the package lived up to his name. He did
finally.
He did deliver one 2 weeks too late.
Unlike the Jetstar baggage crew who left the poor kids rocket in Australia while they went over to New Mexico. I don't know if you heard this story.
No, I haven't.
University went over to go for the rocket championships. You know, when you build your own rockets and through. Yep. So a conglomerate went over there, raised $100,000 to go over to the US. They've turned up, ready to go, and Jetstar have actually left the rocket in Australia.
Oh, you'd be dirty.
And it's not going to get over there in time.
Oh.
So Jetstar, you're also going to be getting dragged this weekend. But Essendon, you were absolutely
Stringer was in everything.
Oh, he delivered. He express post style. Love it.
He anytime the ball was near him, he was either getting it out to the outside to a running Guelphy or whoever was around. Yeah. He was on the ground. He was kicking goals himself. He was everywhere.
And I love now. This is the funny thing, JD, and we were talking about this on Saturday. We had a bit of a conversation, and isn't it amazing that after one win, Essendon supporters are now premiership favourites. Good old Charlie Keegan's on the chat, and he's dropped this one. Don't worry, watch us over the next 2 weeks. We won't lose a game from here.
I think
so you got to win the next 9. That's the way he's saying.
With the tongue firmly planted in the cheek.
Oh no! Essendon supporters do not plant tongues in their cheek. They put them in other cheeks. They do not put them in their own cheek.
What I do love about that game, and we're going to just roll into a bit of footy talk off the back of that.
This is what it's all about, J-Dog. Tonight is Dylan Shield. My God, was that his best game for Essendon?
Easily.
Like he was back to what he was about.
Easily. You had Draper dominating. I mean, Essendon, I think I can't remember the score off the top of my head, but their front half pressure was immense. St Kilda were looking to switch, to go up the lines, to go to the centre, and every time St Kilda looked up, there was a wall of Essendon. And so Essendon were just getting so many front half turnovers that every St Kilda player was out of position, and it was a simple lead-up mark to a 2-metre Peter or a Stringer or whoever was there leading. Draper sitting in the hole there, 35-40 out from goal, easy mark, goal convert. It was amazing. But on the flip side, Peps, I want to talk about the mentality of teams, and I currently live there. Peps, I know you've got a bit of PSD from these times. I've been talking to St Kilda people about this. People were saying from the Saints supporters that they had a feeling this is the game that they would lose. This is the kind of game that they will lose. Spud game. And St Kilda supporters went into it thinking, this is the game that we're going to lose. And I want to talk about that because I know that Port Adelaide, as a passionate man myself about Port Adelaide, these I completely understand the feeling that people have when they go to the football on these types of games, because I have that same feeling. I don't feel like I could trust my club when really everything is going well, and yet we drop games that you shouldn't. And Melbourne, I know you guys have lived it forever.
We've been doing it forever. we would lose intra-clubs. That's how bad we were. We had no trust whatsoever in what we did.
Yeah.
And even the last few weeks, when you look at Melbourne games where we've gone in, and mind you, we've played some pretty good teams. Like we've played Sydney, Fremantle, and Collingwood. That two of them, all three of them were 4 goals up. But I still wasn't confident that we'd win. Before the game, we'd be confident, but it wasn't like, not by how much, but by how much.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. And so it's good to see that other clubs are feeling like us now. Like when you turn up to a game and go, I don't think we're going to win this.
I wouldn't be surprised
if we win it. I wouldn't be surprised if we lose it.
Or do Geelong supporters have this feeling? It's just like us like middle tier clubs.
I reckon against certain teams. I reckon Hawthorn would have had it against Geelong for that. All those times they kept losing. Remember?
The Kennett curse,
The Kennett curse, that would be there. I reckon Essendon hate it against Carlton, full stop. They're still going back to that 99 prelim.
Yeah.
Every team's got their own.
It's just
Gold Coast against anyone. North against anyone. Every team has it. It's just it's what footy's all about.
Did St Kilda look like at one point of that game looking like they were going to win?
Oh, they did. They did when they kicked
5 in a row.
5 in a row
in the third quarter.
And I thought, here we go, they're back.
Yep,
Saints are back. And then Essendon, I literally thought, okay, Saints have had their slumber. They're going to come straight back into this, and Essendon will just do what they know. Essendon went get stuffed, bang, and kicked the next 7. I think it was.
Yeah,
like it came out of nowhere. I was on the couch. Go Bombers! I don't say that unless there's a reason for it. I was just so excited for the way they were playing, like from a football-loving perspective.
Yeah.
Just what they were showing. Like, that was the team that I picked to make finals this year. That was the team.
We both
that was the team.
Yeah.
Not all the other crap that's been going on. But,
where has it been? Just where has it been?
There's all the magnet action, mate. That is all the magnet action from just, like I said, a great round of football. And I could even throw in West Coast. Like at one stage, were you thinking, are they going to beat Geelong?
Yeah.
Are they going to beat Geelong? You know, they're going to cause a few upsets for the remainder of the year, I think, West Coast. So it was just good footy all round, and we're going to have a chat about it in a moment. But I reckon it's time, buddy, to go over to the newsman, our newsbreaker, our news hound. It's the Jamie the J-Dog Wallis. We know him as the G-Banger.
I don't think that's good.
He's the J-Banger. He's got the news for this week. And like I said, we're not focusing on the crappy stuff that's been belted on every news channel and TV show. We're going to talk about the good stuff. So over to you, big fella. What have you got for us?
Rightio. All right. If you come to listen to Degoe talk, Google another channel.
Yeah.
YouTube something, Fox Footy, Channel 9, whatever. I don't want to talk about it.
Go on to a different podcast. Turn off now because we're not going to talk about Degoe.
Because I can see both sides of the argument and I don't have an opinion about it other than I don't know what to think. So that's where I'm at with that one there. Peps.
Just don't take your phone anywhere. Just don't take your phone.
Look, all right, let's talk about other stuff. Peps, you called me on Saturday. You said very excited. Friday? Shit, that's bloody Thursday night game has thrown me.
I was a little bit hungover.
Are we shaping the industry, Peps? Because
I think we are shaping. Like I keep saying it, we are the number one, and you can look this up on Google, everybody. Look it up and prove us if we're wrong. We are the number one non-club AFL-affiliated podcast on this side, only this side of the Westgate Bridge.
Correct.
Here in Melbourne, Victoria.
Very clear.
No one can beat that. I reckon we crack skulls and break hearts. We are shaping the industry. I don't know, for a while we've been saying, get rid of some stuff.
Yeah.
Make some changes, etc. And J-Dog, I called you up on Saturday and I had a Chubbs Farquhar when I heard the news come out.
Floating fixture. Done. Peps, and I know it's good because I know for like me, And my pride of Port, I like to go over and I like to pick games I can go and watch.
Oh, no, you normally go over, used to go to Collingwood if they were playing over there. You'd go over, you'd take the Luffley over there.
I know, all that. I couldn't do it because I couldn't plan. I couldn't say definitively Port are playing on the Saturday at this time, book it in, let's go for it, let's book a long weekend. I couldn't do that. That stopped. So they've scrapped that, which is great news. It means people can get the schedule at the start of the year and lock in some time with their employees to start making weekends away, which is all about, once again, stimulating the economy. People from West Coast coming to Melbourne, people from Melbourne going to Brisbane to watch. That's a good thing. The other thing, Peps, tickets are back.
Oh.
Walk up tickets.
And they've even said if you need a membership card, we can organise that as well.
So now, if you've got a Saturday arvo, you're walking around the city, you say, hang on, that's the beautiful angelic sound of a footy siren. What's going on? You can walk over there, get a ticket at halfway through second quarter.
Are they going to take cash? Are they taking cash?
I don't know about cash. I think it's only card only, Peps.
Hey, we've got two of the big ticket items that we wanted, didn't we? We wanted tickets back. We wanted the floating fixture to be sunk like Jack in Titanic, where Rose just sat on the door. That's us sitting on the door, and that's a floating fixture drowning.
Yep. And another thing, Peps. God, it's a bit of a bloody Suns bloody theme tonight. But how good is it? Borders are open. People can travel. People can come in and out. And of course, I am talking about Alex Davies from the Gold Coast Suns. His grandpa could join and watch him in his first game, and then he even joined the club in their song at the end of the game in the rooms.
Do you reckon he knew the words?
Oh, absolutely not, Peps.
I reckon the players may not have known all the words either, but because they haven't sung it too many times so far. But I reckon they've finally nailed it after this year. But I was going to throw that into my 3 votes because it slipped my mind. I forgot to put it in, but Craigie Wessels all the way in the US of A has mentioned it right now on the chat. And I remember watching that and I'm just going, how good's our game? His grandpa's come all the way from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
He's watching his grandson playing in the sport. Apparently he wears like the Gold Coast Sun gear everywhere. Can't take it off. A bit like you with Port and me with Melbourne stuff. Just loves it. They got him in the song. And I just think, you know what? That's what the game's about.
Yeah.
They're the memories that we want to be part of. That's the stuff that sits in the back of your mind and go, that is why we're the greatest sport, because we'll include virtually, and we'll get to that in a moment, anybody. I love it. Absolutely loved it.
So that was some really, really good things from the weekend's games. Now, Peps, we're talking about rivalries. We're talking about the Spuds game and big games.
Yep. And
how we get a little bit puckered up.
Mm.
Let's roll that into the Richmond and Carlton game. Way back.
Yeah.
What a game, Peps. What a game.
Are you talking about on the Thursday night, you mean?
I'm talking all the way back then.
Can I say something, Jamie?
Right, you can go.
This is why the AFL I don't get it. They're just dumb. Why would you play that game on a Thursday night?
And not on a Friday?
A Friday? Could you imagine that game? 3:20 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon?
Oh, okay. You were on a Saturday Arvo game for that one.
80,000 plus. They've lost 30,000. No wonder why people aren't going to the games is because of stupid things like this.
Yeah.
You know, can we put that aside? Because it's Good News Tuesday tonight. Good News Tuesday. We want everybody not to tune in and not tune out.
Yeah.
Richmond, they're back to their surge football.
Oh, they were immense, weren't they? Mm-hmm. They were playing on. They were getting it forward. Jack Riewoldt, I know he's been given the plaudits for it feels like a million years now, but still his little taps forward, all those sorts of things. And Peps, it wasn't a great weather for football.
No, it was a bit moist, wasn't it?
But my God, did Richmond just look like they were playing on a different field for the majority of the game? Shea Bolton was amazing.
Who was? Oh, Shea Bolton. Yeah, I thought he was a bit. I thought Prestia was really handy early on, like the meatball. Just the way that he was able to. He looked like he was playing a dry game of football.
Yeah.
And that was what I noticed between the two teams. Like, it was quite even back and forth. But I think Richmond Richmond just handled the wet conditions better. Yep. They looked like they were playing with a dry ball. Carlton looked like they were playing with a wet ball.
Yeah,
that was what I noticed difference.
When the first 6 goals went through, I'm like, oh, shit, here we go.
But also,
cock up.
And this is where I think they get overcoached as well. And a question's just come up on the chat regarding about floating fixtures, etc., which I'll get into in a moment from Craig over there in the USA. But the way that game was being played, Richmond we're just going to move it forward. Whatever we need to do, just move it forward.
Yeah.
Slap it, tap it, kick it, flick it, whatever we need to do. Carlton tried to be a bit more precision-like. You can't do that with a wet footy. No. And I think that's why it worked, because they were just like, get it into the forward line, put the pressure on the backs, and it's going to make it hard to stop. It's almost go to under 10s footy.
Oh, for sure.
And they don't do that. Teams don't do that enough. They try and play skillful football. You've got to play football for the conditions. And if there is a football team or a football boot manufacturer that comes out with a hybrid screw-in molded boot, you could make an absolute fortune. Because
is it still made, Peps? Because I was listening to a podcast, listening to the Fireball Friday on on Volcano.
Yep.
And what's his name? Kingy.
Yep.
I know they had that question put out there. Do they still make screw-in cleats, footy boots?
I don't think they do. I've still got, I think, my pair of Puma Kings from a long time ago, screw-ins.
Yes.
They were the best boots. You only wore screw-ins when it was wet, and that's what I don't understand, why they don't wear them now. Like, you can't tell me that they can't, even if they molded a longer stop boot.
They do.
So even if it's a mold, a longer stop mold.
They do make that. They do.
Well, obviously they're not working that well because they're slipping and sliding like it's a freaking slippery dip at Waterworld in Queensland. It's a bit all over the joint too. So, but I just wanted to. Craigie Wessels has come up with a question. Came up with a question just here, and I'm just going to throw it up on the screen. He said, "Wait, Peps! You just celebrated getting rid of the floating fixture, and now you want to float it to prime time." No, it's a prime time. What I would say is that if you go back through the years, that type of game would almost be booked in on a Friday, Saturday night or a Sunday or a Saturday day, not a Thursday night, because Thursday night footy does not work in Melbourne. In other states, it does. It just doesn't work here. So what I was saying is that when that one comes up on the fixture, that should be in a prime slot, because you're going to get 80,000+ to it, especially the way these two teams are playing at the moment. I don't like the floating schedule, but that's what the floating schedule was intended to put the best games in the best slots. Yeah, and they still couldn't do it.
That's a spot missed. Yeah. All right. So look, Carlton did come back in the fourth quarter, Peps. And can we talk about the goal review that basically changed the game, because it was a goal initially, turned over on goal review. Richmond went down and could have made it 3 points, but instead made that to 14 points there and ran away with the game in the end.
Didn't change the game, Jamie.
Okay. All right. I just wanted
to. And I'll tell you why.
It was a question. Why was it brought in there?
Hey, they can ask it as much as they want, but go back and realise what it was brought in for. It was brought in for the Howlers.
Mm-hmm.
The absolute Howlers. Tom Hawkins' 2019 grand final where he skimmed the goalpost.
Yep.
That's what it was brought in for. Touching it on the line, those sort of things. Not for when it's 40 metres out on a boundary line. Like, they shouldn't review that stuff. Like, so
it should have been a goal to Carlton.
Every time someone goes like this, we go back and review it.
Because Carlton had momentum.
It doesn't matter, Jamie.
At that point in the game.
You shouldn't be using it for that.
No, I'm saying, this one, Peps, I think
it doesn't matter if they had momentum. Big deal. It should not be used for something 40 metres out.
Carlton had the kick on goal and we made it down to 3 points. The game was on the line. Instead, it got reviewed.
It doesn't matter.
Richmond went down, kicked a goal and made
So what? It got overturned, did it? Did it get overturned?
It did get overturned.
So did the umpire call it a goal?
Umpire called it a goal.
And then they overturned it?
Correct.
Well, then I stand corrected. I thought it was the other way around. Anyway, they should still not. They still shouldn't review things from 40 metres out.
So that was 9 minutes ago in the last quarter when Richmond really were under pressure and Carlton were coming hard. I think McKay kicked something like 3 or 4 goals in a row and were coming hard. And then the game basically played out. Richmond won by what it was in the end, 60, 15 points, something like that, whatever it was. So for Richmond, back in the 8.
Yeah, they are back in the 8 and doing what Richmond do.
And Carlton,
they reckon there's got shades of 2019 about this one. I don't know.
Hey, maybe.
Nah.
Because I did know Richmond did leave their run late. They play the game and keep them in touch for the first half, buys, reset the season, and then they come hard at the end, which is how all good teams should do it.
I've said teams there, big fella. Alrighty. Next thing that you want to have a chat about?
The next game? Do you want to talk about the next game?
Oh, not the next game. I want to have a chat about this gender came in. All right, I want to touch.
We're talking about football. We're not talking about football here.
Yeah, we are talking about football because it sort of relates into for the moment. So I just want to throw this one out. I know the other newsbreaker, but I put this one in because, as you may or may not be aware of, that FINA, the international swimming body, made a decision overnight where transgender swimmers will not be competing against the gender that they've transitioned over to. They're going to have their own category.
Yep.
Now, it's basically if anybody has transitioned at the age of 12 or under, it's fine. After that, it's almost like too bad, too sad.
Mm-hmm.
And so it made me think, is this type of decision going to affect the AFLW? Now, I wanted to take you back to, if you remember the name, Hannah Mounsey, who applied to play in the AFL in 2017, and then she withdrew her application in 2018 due to the impact on her mental health. She's now playing, it's funny how she's playing European handball but now. But she came out with a comment when this was all brought out. She is that the advantage that gender have over normal athletes isn't that much at all. She's saying that there's actually not much of a biological advantage over females. And she was talking about things that, when she dropped down, her bench press went down because of the testosterone that she was taking. Her squats went down. So she used to bench 150.
Yeah.
To 150. Down her clean went from 140 to 60.
I think she still benches more than I do. Anyway.
Both of us combined. And it was just interesting to say that. But if you have a look at just her overall size, regardless if she wasn't be able to do that, just the density of her shape.
Yeah.
If she ran into you, it would cause some damage.
Yeah.
So could you imagine I don't know how the AFLW are going to deal with this. It's going to be interesting when the first one comes out, when this all goes. So I don't know if you had any thoughts on it, but
it may sound controversial.
It was an interesting ploy.
Yeah, it may sound controversial. We know that we are built different. Men and women are built different. We have denser bones, thicker muscles, faster thing. We know that. That is unequivocally, we know that about our two, male and female, whatever you want to call it. We are built different. And I don't care, and I'll put it back to cycling. If someone who is cycling and has been using EPO for 10 years, 5 years, 6 years, the ability for them to recover, build, train, build muscle, get faster. Yes, you can say, I haven't been on it for 6 months. Doesn't matter. You've had the last 6 years or 6 weeks or 6 months on the gear. You can recover faster, train harder, get better, be stronger. You've got all the advantages of being a male, of your body developing harder, your muscles becoming stronger, your ligaments becoming firmer and responsive. I don't want to sound like I'm going to bash on women because it's definitely not, but I'm just talking about, in this case, I think I applaud FINA and I applaud the Athletics Commission. And if AFLW do it, have their own different separate category, I think that's a step that's correct. And I may sound old-fashioned. I'm sorry about that.
No, old-fashioned because and once again, I'm looking at it from the perspective from a safety safety perspective. So if you get somebody who's bigger going in against somebody smaller, and I know that if you have a look at the AFLW, they're all different shapes and sizes, but there is a definitive. You just have to look and go, there's something different. You can just see it. The flip side, though, Jamie, and this is the other thing, it always seems to be the men into the women's sports. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it where a transgender female who's transitioned into male has gone into a male sport.
Yeah.
And that's the one I'm really concerned with because, once again, don't want to get controversial, but they would get wiped out.
Oh,
they would get wiped out. And I'm talking cricket, I'm talking footy, rugby league, soccer. It's a faster pace. It's a harder contact sporting contest. So that would be, for me, the interesting one when it goes the other way. Because at the moment it's always being male to female. I want to see the female to male. And like I said, I just thought it was an interesting story to come up because, yes, it's early days, but you just never know what could happen.
It's just, look, I want talk about equal opportunity. Why can't born women, have the opportunity to compete in the sport they want to compete in, to get contracts, to go to university on college degrees? Want a perfect example? The Australian women's soccer team, ranked number 3 or 4 in the world, got beaten by a team of under 15 boys. Like, we're talking about, like, the chasm is too big.
Didn't they say that if Serena Williams played any of the top 100 men in the world, she'd just get demolished?
I think it was something like college level of men's. Yeah. She wouldn't win a set. And I think Serena probably even acknowledged that herself on one of those talk shows. She talked about that particular controversy.
And I want to hold up. We're not bashing. We're not bashing into this at all. It's just more of from just be careful what you wish for. That's the way that I'd look at it. Be careful what you wish for because it could actually do more impact down the track.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I mentioned it at the start of the show, J-Dog. Footypalooza. Footypalooza is what we call round 15. Tell us about Footypalooza. Trademark Lace Out AFL Podcast 2022. Tell us about Footypalooza and this week. What's it all about? It is huge.
Chocker, as in you want to know this round coming or the round just gone?
No, the one we're about to get into. Like, this is just nutsage.
Peps, you put a picture up this afternoon on our Facebook page, and this view's been circulating around. Just somehow the floating fixture in this case actually has kind of worked. Weirdly.
No, J-Dog, it's not the floating fixture. It's just the fixture.
It's just the ladder. The ladder has somehow
worked. It's the Marbo. It's the vibe, mate. It's the fix. It is worked out. And so I did a bit of research into this. This has only happened 5 times in the last 29 years.
Incredible. So it starts on Thursday night, Peps. Yep. We've got you guys versus Brisbane Lions, 1 versus 2.
Yep.
And then we roll into Friday. Now, Thursday night at the MCG. Peps, can you please rally your pea-hearted supporter base to actually go and watch that game, please? Get them off the slopes.
I'll be definitely cheering the D's on.
Maybe offer them some cheese boards, maybe on the higher tiers, because I know you only get that stuff when you're in the lower tiers and at the front of the
might need a nice
front of the
range to keep us warm at the ground on Thursday. I won't be there.
Friday, we've got a double. Oh, this is the problem with Friday. Double headers. I don't like double headers.
They got a double header.
Western Bulldogs versus Hawthorn. Bit of an anomaly there. But we're still talking. What is that? Western Bulldogs.
It's 10th versus 11th.
10th versus 11th.
14th.
14th. Sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's one of those games where Western Bulldogs supporters will be going, I don't think we can lose this one.
West Coast and Essendon. So let's just give Essendon the default win there.
That's 16th versus 18th. And I don't actually give Essendon, if they show it like they did last week, definitely. But West Coast didn't play bad footy last week.
No,
they're getting more of their players back, getting a little bit fitter. Could they cause an upset?
No, they gave Geelong a good run for a while.
Will West Coast want to win because of the fact that they want that number 1 pick? Do they want to tank?
Then we've got Saturday.
It's tank versus dank. That's what that game.
Saturday, we've got Carlton versus Dockers. So third versus fifth. Then we've got Geelong versus Richmond. So fourth
versus sixth.
Sydney versus St Kilda on Saturday night.
The top four are playing the top eight are playing each other. How big is this?
And Sunday, we've got North and Adelaide. So what's that? That's 17.
That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, it won't be bad.
I don't mind it.
Blundstone Arena. Just checking out the local digs for their when they move down there. Joking North supporters.
Kanga.
Don't get upset. I'm sorry, Roo Boy.
Roo Boy's not on tonight, so we can bag him out.
All right, so you got Collingwood on the afternoon slot versus GWS.
Hey, can I just quickly mention something about GWS as well, too?
Yes.
I threw out a question wanting to find out how many times has 11 goals been kicked in the first quarter of a game this year. I think it's happened 4 times this year.
Yep.
And GWS have done it in 2 of those games already. Actually, it could be 3 of those games.
Yep. There's no potential they can score.
Well, it's also, but 2 of those 3 times that they've done it this year have been under McVeigh.
Yep.
Has McVeigh just taken the chains off them and said, "Go nuts, boys"?
I think he has. I mean, if you look at Jesse Hogan, even he's playing much more freer football up there under McVeigh. McVeigh than what he was under Cameron. Cameron had him probably too high up the ground.
Stifled him.
As we know, Jesse Hogan plays his best football in and around that square. He did for Melbourne, he did for Freo, and now he's doing for GWS.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
All right. And then, so Collingwood versus GWS, what's the numbers there, Peps?
Collingwood, GWS, you're looking at 9th versus 13th.
Very good.
But Collingwood are playing good footy and GWS are playing really attack. It's just, and then you've got your team.
The Roker Wallis Cup.
It is the Roker Wallis Cup. It is the Roker Wallis Cup, 11th
Port
versus
Adelaide
12th.
versus Gold Coast Suns to round out Sunday night, which should be a nice little watch.
Seriously, we're going to do our tipped out this week because we want to talk about this round. But it is game on where the top it is the pre-finals finals week.
This is for those teams who are trying to make a run at the 8. I mean, like, look at Port Adelaide Suns as a perfect example. Win, and you are well on your way. Lose, pack your bags, boys.
These are 8-point games across the board. And it's also really looking at things for draft positions as well, too, at the back end. Well, the top 4 is going to be settled after this weekend. Or the top 2 is going to be settled this weekend.
Correct. You reckon? How far out you calling it?
Well, two of the 3 teams are going to be on 44 points.
Yeah. 2
of them. And there's
of a round.
It is it's a bumper of a round. I can't wait for it. It's just
even if you look at the betting across I know we don't talk about betting because we don't talk about it.
Gamble responsibly.
But the betting, the win-losses, the lines are all extremely close this week.
Yep. No, it is close. It is massively close. Okay. Hey, J-Dog.
Mm-hmm.
Mate, cracking job on the news again, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
You Tom Morris. He had nothing.
Formerly known as. He's no longer around after his controversial comments.
You got nothing on him. You're a superstar.
Thank you.
You're a quality individual.
Oh, thank
you got nothing on him? Oh, just check his Twitter. Hey, Rising Star. Essendon finally get a Rising Star. And I've been watching this bloke over a couple of weeks, and he is
What do you mean
a
finally?
Rising Star. Like when you watch players and you go, I like him. He's got some spunk about him. Not from a facial perspective, but the way he plays. Hard, honest football. We're talking about Essendon midfielder here, Ben Hobbs. Is the NAB Rising Star nominee for round 14. They picked this guy up. He was part of the Vic Country team. He was their captain. They picked him up as pick 13 in the draft in 2021. He was amazingly awesome. He was just crisp. He was clean. He was hard. They say it was a 35-point upset. I just think it was an awesome game by the Essendon Bombers, finishing with 22 disposals, 5 marks, and 8 score involvements. So he's going to go to the dinner with the remaining nominees for the season. And he could be a chance. You never know who they're going to vote for. But good on you, big fella, because I reckon he's got a cracking – he's potential captain stuff. That's what I see in this bloke.
You're calling that far out.
Yeah, you know when you see someone, you go, ooh, Sam Walsh. You look at Sam Walsh and go, captain. Ben Hobbs, he's got some stuff. Jordan De Goey, nah. Jack Ginnivan, nah. Isaac Quaynor, nah. Not at all. All right. All righty. Hey, let's time to splash some cash. Contract news. Now, we've got some contract news. It's all over the shop now. It's funny, as we start to get into the last part of the year, players are playing for contracts, playing for careers. Everything is going to happen right here. Let's get into it. We know Jordan De Goey. His contract has apparently been withdrawn by the Collingwood Magpies.
800,000 peps per year? Is that? That seems a lot of money for De Goey.
That's potential. So that would be like a Brayshaw wouldn't be on that.
No.
A Mitch Duncan, I don't think would be on that.
Well, Geelong have got their pact. Like, they've got their little pact they do.
Yeah, I know, but you still got to pay them.
Has he delivered as much as what you'd
Wines,
say
would
Brayshaw
Wines
has?
be on 800 grand?
Wines would be on 800, 850.
Would he be on 850? Okay, fair enough.
It's big money, though. It's a lot of money
Tuke
for
Miller?
a player.
Would Tuke Miller be on 800? They'd have to pay someone up there in Gold Coast, wouldn't they? But you know what I'm trying to say here is like these guys perform consistently every single week.
Yeah.
He's playing on potential.
Yeah.
Has always played on potential. And then they rolled out off he racks up 30 and kicks a goal every week. I'm like, one goal? And he's a forward? You'd be wanting two minimums.
Yeah.
He should be kicking 50 a season.
Yeah.
I don't know. But this is the funny part. Apparently, two clubs are offering 5-year deals for him. And you wouldn't believe who one of them are. Let's go for it, Jamie. Let's see if we can put it together. We'll say it at the count of three. Let's put our minds together. Let's see if we're psychic. 1, 2, 3. Shit killed
Saints.
Who would have thought the Saints going after a player with a bit of a history from another club? God,
hey, look, it can work out well, Peps. I mean, Tyson Single has been a revelation down there at Geelong.
Yeah.
I've rated him. He's a dangerous option.
Yeah. He's
Crouch, yeah. But
Zach Jones, Hanbury, yeah.
Okay, so they have had some interesting draft choices.
Yes.
Would they be offering that sort of cash for him now? Probably not. I can't believe that they'd still be looking at it, though. Who knows? Interesting.
I think with him, you take the good with the bad. It's as simple as that. You know what you're getting. He is a box of chocolates, but unfortunately, you do know what you're going to get. You open up the Cadbury dairy milk, it's dairy milk.
Yeah,
that's it.
We have got some players who are not wanting to talk to their clubs at the moment. They're Peps.
Yeah, we've got a few of them. Luke Jackson apparently was offered $10 million over 7 years by Freo.
That's not true.
Mate, he hasn't played 50 games of footy yet. That would be the biggest contract since Tom Boyd came across from GWS after playing, I think it was like 16 games.
Sumish is drunk when he said that news, surely.
I just don't know. I think he was still hungover from the front bar. So Jackson's there. You've also got Brayshaw as well, too, who hasn't signed up with the D. So that's probably the one I'm a little bit more concerned about. Todd Goldstein.
He's won a premiership now. So what else he got to do?
Win 2. Todd Goldstein wants to stay a Roo, but obviously not. Would you trade him, Goldstein? Would you get any currency for him? I know where he could go. There's only one club I think that he could go to.
What is he? How old is Goldstein? I feel like he's been around forever.
He's 38, 39. So there's only one club he can go to.
Right.
Geelong. Isaac Rankin, Jack Lukosius closing in on new deals with the Gold Coast Suns.
So Rankin is.
They reckon that they're. I think with everything that's happened over the last probably 6 weeks, just the way that they're playing their football, he looks like he's been freed up a little bit as well too.
Well, he's now more about the team and not about himself.
Exactly, and they're winning. Who would have thought? Dan McStay, apparently 4 clubs in the mix for him.
Yeah,
interesting. Now, Carlton apparently have cash to spend. Now, what they did was in 2018 and 2019, remember how you could pay less than the salary cap, bank that, for future years.
Uh-huh.
They went and did that for 2 years. Yep. So I think you could bank 10%.
Sorry, 2018. Yeah,
2018
okay,
and
because you
19.
had to spend it in 2019, didn't you?
1920 or 2021.
That's right.
So,
yep.
So they banked that money. So I think they could bank it for a couple of years and then use it within a number of years window. So they've got money to splash around. I didn't think that they would. So they're looking at Angus Brayshaw, who's still, like I said, who isn't looking at him with his 2020 form. Like he's taken the second most marks in the season across any player.
Imagine a midfield of Cripps, Walsh, and Brayshaw.
Yeah, we got
rolling
Chera.
through with Chera.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, mate, I'd love that. I would absolutely love it. And looking at Carl Amon as well too, but they're saying what for Carl Amon? What, 650s?
Pay it. 750. Pay it. Whatever it is.
You just want to get rid of him, don't you?
No, because it's going to give us a better draft position.
Oh, no. I just think that's yeah. But they're going to get aggressive, so stay tuned for that one as well too. And there's going to be more coming up over the next few weeks as well. But they were the main ones that have stood out, doing a bit of research into it as well too. So we're going to be splashing the cash, and here comes the money. We'll be back next week. All right. Can I throw the question for this week, Jamie?
Yeah, you can.
I just want to keep this simple because it is Footypalooza. It is going to be a cracking round of football. What game is the must-see for round 14? Round 15. What is the must-see game at Footypalooza? What is the one that will shape the season? That's the one that I'm looking for. What is the must-see? You cannot go out for the misses and go and watch The Notebook or anything along those lines. You kids, we're not seeing Lightyear this week. I've got to watch the footy. What is the game that you have to lock yourselves in?
Have you seen? Hey, speaking of movies, have you seen the new Top Gun movie yet?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, fuck. Neither have I.
Do you want to go together, double date?
Oh, love to.
Love
to. How good would that be?
Now, 1 week at a time. I'm not even going to go into 1 week at a time because usually we go, what game are we looking forward to? I think there's about 9 games I'm looking forward to this week. So just
solid
every
couch
one of
time.
Them. Oh, it is like, hun, I'm going to do all my chores in the house Wednesday night, but don't bother me for 3 days.
I agree. I totally agree.
Easy done. So, J-Dog, anything else you want to wrap up before we get this monster? It's been a monster. Everybody's been on the chat. It's been going berserk tonight.
We'll go through some of the questions. I know we've got some questions coming in, Pep. So maybe just go through the chat and have a look at some of the questions and let's answer some.
Well, Craigie Wessels has pulled out that he reckons that Brad Close is a future Geelong captain. Maybe.
Yeah, I
he's
don't
got a bit of
disagree with
spunk
that.
about him. No, I don't reckon. Charlie Keegan reckons there was enough room on the door for both Jack and Rose to survive. I don't know, Charlie. I don't know if it was one of those ones that uses the crim safe. But if it was crim safe, it might have been okay. But
there's a Mythbusters episode about it as well. I think it was proven that they, in theory, could, but actually couldn't get both on the door. I can't remember exactly though. Charlie
also said that he benefits in terms of Dylan Shield when Parrish isn't in the team. Agree or disagree? So they play two similar type of a game.
I mean, it does allow Shield to go more on the ball and become more of that damaging player because you're not trying to put him in like a half-forward midfield player. Yeah, I don't mind it, but I want to see it more than one game to make a call on. For example, for Port Adelaide, I think that Georgiades gets in front of Dixon way too much. We still won. I'm not going to say that's the best forward-line structure, but I want to see more than just one game to prove a theory.
Yeah, so that I'd agree. Look, if I looked at my own mob, same thing. Ben Brown and Wiedemann got in it, just get in each other's way.
Yeah,
and then everybody else gets in Bailey Fritch's way. So that's why Tom McDonald crunches packs. So it's you got to have the right mix in there as well to make
Cassawary not getting the ball.
Also, one thing, Julio, massive Hawk supporter, wanted to know a little bit about Mitch Lewis's contract. He's keen to stay. The Hawks are keen to sign him as well as Sam Frost. Look, to be honest, he ain't going anywhere. It's just a matter of dotting I's and crossing T's and working out the cash for that one. So I think Mitch Lewis will be at the, what's that mob called? Hawthorn for a very, very long time because you have got a nice one there. All right. Rightio, a couple of things. First and foremost, if you haven't given us a review on iTunes or on Spotify, shame on you because you tune in every single week and you don't tell everybody how awesome we are. So I'd really appreciate it if you do that. And so would Jamie, because Jamie wants to read your review out. So leave a review, let us know, and it's like SEM with Dwayne Russell. It's the midday chat. You give us a call, you get on air. You give us a review, you get on air. So it's as simple as that too. Tipped Out will be back this week. Guaranteed. Because Jamie will be there and I'll be there because it's Footypalooza and it's going to be massive, all right? That's about it. Stay tuned for next week because next week we've got new technology coming in for our audio that is going to rock your mind. We are going to sound crisper, sexier, hotter than ever. Probably not a podcast you want to – maybe be a podcast that you'll listen to if you can't get to sleep at night, ladies and gentlemen, if you know what I mean, because that's how sexy we're going to sound. But that's it. That's our round 14 recap. Jamie Wallis, thank you very much, superstar. Love working with you. I've just got one question and one question only. Jamie the J-Dog Wallis, the superstar. My tattoo, where's the plane? So my Mr. Rock, how do you want your footy?
Peps, I want to lace out.
So do I. Hope your team wins. Go D's. And more importantly, it's Footypalooza!
See you, listeners.
Thanks for listening to the latest episode of Lace Out. Head over to iTunes and Spotify to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. And remember, join us every single Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on our Facebook page with yours truly, Christopher Pepper, and the co-host with the most, Jamie Wallis, giving you your footy how you want it. Lace out.